I'm the one that you hate for making America great, and I'm the one who's trying to build back better. We ain't the same.
Welcome to another episode of Old Men in Chairs, and David's here again because it's Tom Friday. Welcome, David.
Well, it's good to be here.
It's been quite a while. I think it's been over 2 months since Tom came out with God Mode, and you didn't even participate in that one. I don't think I did that one myself, so it's been quite a while since you were here. Tom says he's been getting a lot of vacation time and downtime, which don't blame him. The guy's a hard worker. So today we have me versus you, and apparently, judging from the opening screen, we have previewed this a little bit, so we know that we have the red Tom and the blue Tom. They're both him, obviously, a twin image, only they have slightly different political views. And as you might imagine, red Tom is very conservative and blue Tom is very progressive. And they're going to have quite an argument here.
I'm the one that you hate for making America great, and I'm the one who's trying to build back better. We ain't the same. Yeah, you're right. There's a difference. Y'all are woke and we're awake. What a joke. Does white privilege have something to say? Your president drove the country into the ground. The crime rate is through the roof. There ain't no jobs to be found. Inflation going up. My kids need food in their mouths. You put the fake news on every TV screen in my house.
I agree 100% with everything you just said.
Well, except that there's no jobs because there's plenty of jobs out there if people want one, you know.
Well, it's true that it's hard to find people that want to actually work.
Right, and then do you want to work for $15 an hour is the other question, you know.
Well, why would you if you can get better money by sitting home and doing nothing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and with the liberal education training, you're very ill prepared for a job when you come out of high school.
I would argue that unless you've taken a STEM subject, a science or math in college, you're not very well prepared for
No, not at all.
Most jobs.
Not at all. Right now, the real thing is, first thing you should do is get a tradie, electrical. That's where it's at. And
yeah, because there's more people retiring than there are people entering
replacing plumbing, electrical, any of that.
And as a matter of fact, you are in the right business because you are an electrician and a tradesman.
And there's more work than you can do.
A lot of people are not even going to college, going straight into a trade. And those are the ones that don't have the college debt and they're making good money. And those are the ones that are doing okay. But the people that go to college because they think they have to, and then they get some dead-end job in an office.
Oh. Yeah. College is a bad investment at this point.
No.
If you look at the return on what you're giving. And
that's why a lot of colleges are closing because there's not as many students willing to pay that kind of money because they don't see the return coming back. There's a mismatch between are willing to and are able to do and what employers are looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to see the contrary point of view from Blue Top.
Hold up. Your president a racist, homophobic, tried to overthrow democracy and everybody knows it. He will never make America great again like the slogan. He a white supremacist, just like all of you who voted. That is not fact.
So he starts in right away by just calling Trump a racist, a homophobe, try to destroy democracy. So he comes right in with the typical leftist slogans.
The propaganda.
To me, it's propaganda.
It's out there, and they both do it. Each party's guilty of it on some level, and they pay big companies to go out there and make this stuff up, and PR companies and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And billboards, put billboards up.
And like the first Tom, Red Tom said, they put it on the fake news.
Yep.
And they mold everyone's mind to think, this whole thing about Trump was involved in insurrection. That's a big selling point right now.
Yeah.
And, Trump was tweeting out the day on January 6th, hey, everyone be peaceful. We don't want any problems, We want a peaceful protest. But, of course, that information, that's been hidden because that doesn't fit the narrative. Oh, it's an insurrection. He's overthrowing the government. Hey, if we wanted to overthrow the government, we wouldn't just show up ourselves. We'd have our guns.
There were no guns there, and if you probably look back in history of insurrections, it always involves some kind of firearms.
Sure, you're not gonna.
They're not going to overthrow
something. You're going to take over a government without being armed. I mean, what do you think? The police have guns.
Yeah, and there was an insurrection back in 1776.
True.
They were all felons.
They had a 5-year war over that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 7 years.
Yep.
Okay, so we don't quite believe what Tom is saying, Blue Tom is saying, because we're Red Tom fans. But
yeah.
Well, let's hear a little more.
That is not facts. All you woke morons do is talk trash. Drag queens in classrooms hate anyone who's not black. You're pro-white, you know that's what the Klan members are, right? You're anti-LGBTQ, then why they always on your mind? Bro, you're a boy, you're a girl, stop playing stupid. You screwing up the youth and all the children are our future. You don't care about the kids, look at all the school shootings. You're pro-gun, it's your fault, stop making those excuses.
Let's be clear. You can be pro-gun. It doesn't mean you're in favor of school shootings.
Right. It's a radicalization of the pro-gun feeling.
That's what they use to be anti-gun is, oh, look at these horrible mass shootings that occurred. Yeah. We have to ban all guns. Well, what's the history of banning all guns?
Well, let's look at Chicago, New York City, Washington, D.C.
Well, I was thinking in history, it was the first thing that the Nazis, the Russians, the Chinese communists, every totalitarian regime, and they've done it in Canada, I think Australia as well.
Australia, yep.
They ban guns. It's the first thing they do. They want a monopoly on power so that they can do whatever they want and the citizens can't fight back. This country was based, as you just said, on fighting back against the authority of the king back in 1776. And they put in the Constitution that we should always have that capability. It's even in the Declaration of Independence at any time that a tyrant takes over a country, the citizens not only have the right, but they have the duty to fight back and overthrow that tyrant. So that's as American as apple pie.
Yep, and every instance of mass murder and has been preceded in the modern history by taking firearms. It's the first signal that it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, as far as governments killing off the people they don't like.
And in our modern times, in Cambodia with the Khmer Rouge, coming in and burning books and killing anybody who's educated.
Well, and then the Cultural Revolution in China was the same thing. They took all the intellectuals and put them in re-education camps.
Yeah.
You got to learn not to think.
Yeah.
But the worst probably was Soviet Russia because they had a policy to basically wipe out all the middle-class people, the people, like you said, the tradesmen, the farmers, the small business owners of all kinds. That's the backbone of the resistance to communism, and that's the same thing in this country. Those are the people they want to marginalize, and someday they may, when they get all the guns, they might do the same thing and try to kill them.
You think anyone who don't agree with you is just a bigot? You're a fascist, you're a Nazi. You just mad because you...
I'm calling it right there. First person that calls the other one a Nazi loses the argument. So Blue Tom, sorry, you just lost the argument with that.
You're just jealous of the left because we're progressive and we're winning. Now I'm tripping that you won the election because you rigged it.
Yeah.
That's true. I rate that true.
They just arrested a woman on ballot stuffing here recently who's been in trouble. I saw it in the
whole
news.
Thing was set up with the COVID and scaring everybody to death and convincing them that they had to adopt mail-in voting so that they could hijack the process and put in, truckloads of extra ballots that were not even real voters.
And no ID required to vote. However, everything else in this world you need ID for.
Well, don't you know that blacks and minorities are too stupid to get an ID?
They don't even know how to run a computer.
Of course, we're kidding.
Well, that's what Hochul said.
Hochul did say that.
Yeah, she said.
They don't even know how to run a computer.
Right.
And they actually, do they actually believe that blacks are so stupid that they don't know how to get an ID? Or is that just a talking point to cover the fact that they want to be able to cheat?
Probably be able to cheat. I mean,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And what's to stop the next election? What's changed?
Well, in some states they have made some changes. Unfortunately, we're going to find out if it's enough states, because I don't think, it's hard. You got to go to each individual state legislature, and some of them are controlled by Democrats who don't want to change the system. And then you have to go to court, and the courts aren't necessarily supportive.
It could take years.
It could take years, and we've only had 4 years, so that may not be enough. But when everybody in the world saw it was rigged, we saw the video. We saw the people feeding the ballots into the machine more than once, and pulling suitcase of ballots out from under the table after they closed the counting. We all saw it, but it's like, are you going to believe us or your lying eyes?
You're going to believe what you see or what I tell you? It's what Willie Nelson told his wife when she caught him with a woman in bed.
Now that's chutzpah. Wow. Yeah, I don't think I'd get away with that one.
Not many people. No.
Maybe Willie can get away with that.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
No, doesn't look like it. I'll go back.
They put you on the left, they put you on the right. They tell you what to hate, then they tell you who to fight. Till you're screaming, screaming. They put you on the right, they put you on the left. They tell you who to hate, they do anything to get you screaming, screaming.
You know, I don't hate the other side.
No.
I think they're misguided, brainwashed. But that's not their fault, really.
Well, it's the old yin and yang thing, you know what I mean? There's always an opposite to every reaction, kind of.
In my view, is, you know, I realize there are some elements on the right who are bigoted and they don't like certain other races, and, you know, they don't like vegetarians and vegans, I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That element is there, but that's not all people on the right. Not everyone on the right is consumed with hate. Most of the people on the left are consumed with hate. They hate Trump with a white-hot passion.
A passion for whatever reason, you know. Yes, yeah, they've been
Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah,
is
Trump.
what we're talking. But I do think that hate is a strategy that's employed more on the left side. That, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen on the right too. More in the past than the current Republican or Trump coalition. I don't think there's much hate over there. But in the past, you know, Nixon had the famous Southern strategy, you know, where he turned all the South into Republicans by kind of winking at some of the racial situations. But in the current environment, it's the Democrats, the progressives that are stoking the hate of Trump, hate of anybody that supports Trump, hate of anybody that didn't want to take the vax.
My president draining the swamp, we building walls. Your president opened the border for one and all. Now there's murderers and criminals evading the law, walking right into America, our safety is gone. Well, my president ended pandemic, saved the economy, and introduced legislation fighting for our equality.
Hold on. He saved the economy? He destroyed the economy.
Yeah, but if you read about inflation in the big popular news, it's all fine. Everything's good.
Oh, it's all good because...
It's all good, yep.
Yeah. And we're really not paying like $3.59 for gas and
40% more for groceries at 30%.
And our groceries that used to cost us $10 are now costing us $20.
And the liberal argument would be, aren't your bills all paid? Aren't you caught up? And a lot of people would go, yeah, but I am so far underwater in debt at this point that it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I'm putting a lie on that one.
And introduced legislation fighting for our equality. His son smokes crack. I don't care about that, honestly. He's raising all our wages. He can't raise his children properly. You obviously pro-life. A woman's choice is your right. I feel like abortion is important and you don't like. You're treating it like birth control. You're treating them like your wife. I said that all lives matter and I also meant unborn life. You're so clever. Go ahead, make your little memes while we're bringing home the soldiers who were in the Middle East.
Okay, come on.
Soldiers home.
I mean, that's the most disgraceful thing I think that Biden did, and it's a lot of competition. But when he brought the soldiers home from Afghanistan and did it in such a haphazard manner and left how many billions of dollars of equipment in Afghanistan for anyone who was left to just pick up?
It's been used against us at this point.
Sure, that stuff moves around.
Many levels. Oh, absolutely moves around. And then how many Afghan nationals, people live there, did he leave there that were working for the U.S. forces that were murdered?
He left thousands and thousands of people that I think there's Americans that never made it home, but they don't talk about that.
They were considered traitors by the Afghan people, and because they
Sure.
worked for the U.S. government and they may have been informants or
I mean,
interpreters.
that's always going to happen in that type of situation, like people that didn't get it out of Vietnam,
Saigon and
in Saigon, you know, some of them probably were killed. But you could have done a heck of a lot better organizing this rather than... He had a date on his calendar. I want everything out by August 15th or whatever the date was. And he didn't care. You know, all his generals said, hey, sir, we can't do it that quickly.
Logistically not possible.
It's not possible. No, it's got to be, everyone's got to be out because if for a campaign promise, you know, he picked a date, and whether it was a real obtainable
logical choice,
it didn't matter. For political purposes, all that damage was done. Yeah, so another lie.
Yeah, we took the soldiers out.
Blue Tom, we're not agreeing with Blue Tom very much. Admittedly, he's presenting the talking points, maybe of some of the people on the progressive side, but they're not based on fact.
Okay, you brought the soldiers home, but then you burnt the flag and took a knee and left the men who fought for all our freedom homeless on the street. Build back better, there'll be violence and riots until you Bible thumpers learn to fall in line and trust the science. We ain't ever backing down from all you pedos and tyrants. The right is fighting the system, the left designed to divide.
You gotta trust the science, David.
Yeah. Don't back down from all the pedos and tyrants, right?
No, I can see now how wrong I was not to trust the science.
Yeah, oh boy.
Don't you wish you were vaccinated?
Oh, I regret not getting the vaccination.
Me too. I mean, I could have had a heart attack. I could be dead.
Yeah, I haven't had a cold or a virus or a flu.
I could have blood clots
in
all my veins.
Yeah.
Look at all the fun we avoided.
Yeah, well, you know, it goes back to cure the patient, lose the customer, you know. And if you don't have enough patients, you can make them sick.
They made a lot of customers, right, for that thing.
And that is clown talk. All you got is mean tweets. It's free speech. Call the cops. Dog, you defunded the police. This country will be better off without all you freaks. This is America, homie. If you don't like it, you can leave.
Remember when they used to say that back in the Vietnam era?
What's that?
America, love it or leave it.
Oh yeah, yep.
I don't hear people on the right saying that very much. What you do hear is all the people who claim that if Trump gets reelected,
I'm leaving.
They're going to leave the country.
I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Yeah, well, good riddance. Pack your shit.
But we're not telling them they got to go. They're self-selecting.
They put you on the left, they put you on the right. They tell you what to hate, then they tell you who to fight. Till you're screaming, screaming. They put you on the right, they put you on the left. They tell you who to hate, they do anything to get you screaming, screaming. No president will ever give a damn about the truth. It don't matter who's the winner, cause the people always lose. No president will ever break the system from inside. It's a deep state plan dividing us into sides. It don't matter if you're left, right, black, white, red, blue, conservative or liberal, rich, poor, me, you, Republican or Democrat, old, young, mean, cool. They promise us our freedom, but then all we get is free doom.
Free doom.
Yeah.
That's all we get. I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with Tom on this one. I think it does matter. I think the danger of saying that it doesn't matter is that people will not vote.
Complacency, yep.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you vote for. Don't bother to vote.
Right, it doesn't. Yeah, it's right. Yep.
And that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, the problem, the other problem is, how is my vote being counted? Is it really worth my time because the whole thing's stolen anyways?
That's another problem. As Stalin said, it doesn't matter who you vote for. Depends on who counts the votes.
Yeah, and that can shy a lot of people away from bothering.
But, you know, without people participating in the system and believing that their vote counts, I don't think we're going to a better system.
Yeah, and there's some who say if your vote counted, you wouldn't have it. You know, I mean, how much power is your vote, really? It's the only thing you got. Other than sitting around talking like this, the vote is it. Yeah.
Well, it matters more on the local level because the numbers are smaller, and so you can have more impact with your vote in a local election than you could ever.
Yeah.
You know, like in New York State, I actually didn't vote for Trump the last time out because I knew it wouldn't matter. I knew it wouldn't make any difference. I think I voted for a libertarian candidate.
Yep.
just so that they would get enough votes to stay on the ballot. Because now this time I will vote for Trump in New York because I think he's got a chance. I honestly do.
Yeah, the way things are getting screwed up now, people are upset.
People are upset, and he's making big inroads with especially the black men and Latinos.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a lot closer in New York than it's been in a long time. And I will take a chance and vote for Trump here in New York. Maybe he won't win it, but I think he'll make it competitive.
Yep. Yeah.
So I gotta disagree with Tom on this. There's a lot of truth in that the deep state controls no matter what. We've seen a lot of that. Somehow we got to break that power of the deep state.
Phew, it's a tough one. Yeah.
And they're so corrupt, and their place so dirty, and they have they don't value. They really don't like the fact that we have a constitution, and they don't like the limitations that are being put on government by the Constitution. That's what the Constitution is all about. That's what the amendments to the Constitution are all about, is limiting the power of the government.
Yeah.
And they don't like that their powers are limited. And Biden doesn't want to be limited. I don't care if the Supreme Court said that I can't stop the student loans put a moratorium on student loans so they don't have to pay them back. I'm going to do it anyway. Now, he should have been impeached as soon as he said that. That's ridiculous. You can't, if you're not going to play by the rules of the country, then you're a tyrant.
Well, and countries have borders, and countries have enforced borders, and a country that's not a country doesn't have borders, things like that. How can he just open the border and let people in? And it's not, every one of them is a felon the second they hit this country because they came in illegally.
Well, he'll do it because he thinks that enough of those people will vote Democratic.
In 2 years, there'll be 20 million votes towards socialism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they justify it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not legal in any sense.
No, not at all.
And they don't care about that. They
Nope.
don't care about what's legal, what's constitutional. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They put you on the left, they put you on the right. They tell you what to hate, then they tell you who to fight. Till you're screaming, screaming. They put you on the right, they put you on the left. They tell you who to hate, they do anything to get you screaming, screaming.
Pretty much the end of it there.
Yep.
Well, pretty clever video of the two Toms screaming at each other.
Yeah, the yin and the yang again. It's showing the ridiculousness somewhat of the two parties and how they're kind of creating us into these enemies. And you see it,
Well,
yeah.
It might be time for the Republican Party to die. The Republican Party doesn't stand for the right things anymore. And we've had it in history. There used to be a Whig Party was one of the two major parties.
Yeah, right. Yep.
And back 150 years ago.
Yep.
Or more, 200 years ago. And that party died. And the Republicans came along and took their place. And so that can happen. And we might be near a point where that may happen in this country where there's a MAGA party, which is not really on, we saw the last time when Trump was president that he had more trouble from his own Republicans in the Congress who were hamstringing him than he did from the opposition. And if that happens again, if the Republicans don't come around and support his policies, I think they're doomed. Free doomed.
Well, and the problem is they all just follow the money. Wherever the money is.
Well, that's the whole.
Yeah.
Money is the mother's milk of politics.
And the other is, I believe a lot of them are being blackmailed with videos
absolutely.
And things that they have on them because they really do some stupid stuff. And you're going, why did they do that? And then you start learning, there's videos of people that did some things wrong, and and do you want us to show this?
You gotta wonder what they got on Mike Johnson. Here was a guy who came in as speaker, and he was supposedly conservative Christian, and all of a sudden, he's agreeing to every Democratic passing the budget, funding the wars, approving the FISA warrants. I mean, he did a complete 180 within a month.
Yeah. How hard is it to get a young politician into a party, give them drugs, and then bring in underage women, video it all, and then 5 years later, you own them. You own them. Yeah, you own them.
I think there's way too much of that going on.
Yeah, you own them.
I think that's the reason we'll never see Jeffrey Epstein's.
Oh no, never see that. Or Puff Daddy there.
Yeah, because
another one.
They're actually working for the intelligence agencies by setting these people up, so they can be controlled.
You bet, absolutely, yeah, because there's too much information there. Yeah.
So anyway, I guess this video, I'm kind of lukewarm on it. I agree with everything Red Tom says. I disagree with everything Blue Tom says, and I don't agree with the moderator Black Leather Tom that it's hopeless. Now maybe I'm naive. Maybe it is hopeless, but I've been around too long to give up. So thank you again, David, for coming in.
All right.
I don't know how I'm going to condense this down
into a watchable segment.
In less than half an hour, but we had fun.